Hi everyone, welcome to my channel where I review the latest movies and documentaries. Today, I'm going to talk about Carrier's movie. If you're interested in this topic, make sure to watch this video until the end and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. At the beginning of the film story, we are shown a video clip in which a family was having fun near the sea. Then in the next scene, we see four friends who were going somewhere for a holiday, in which two brothers and their friends were with them. When they were going on the highway, they see a car standing in the way, which was right in the middle of the road. The driver, whose name was Brian, had to stop the car. There was a man standing outside the car, who was asking for help. That man comes to him, says, "Please you guys help me." But Brian refuses him, and drives away from there. But the man standing outside still does not agree. He was coming to his car with another car. When that man was doing this, everyone looks at him and feels that maybe there is something wrong. Then they look at the man's car, in which a little girl was sitting. That girl had a mask on her face, and there was blood on it. Seeing this, all four of them get scared. Brian takes out his car from the side, and leaves from there. And here we find out that the man's daughter was the victim of the same virus, which was spreading slowly all over the world. It was such a dangerous virus that whoever got caught in it, he would be a guest for a few hours. That is, that person will die after a while. And so far, no vaccine for this virus has been made. There we see, when Brian and his friends were taking the car from the side, the petrol pipe of the car breaks, and all the petrol starts coming out. Now, because there is no petrol, their car stops at a distance. Brian and his friends were all on the highway, where no one could be seen far away. They had only one option. They would have to go back to the same man, who was asking for help from him first. Because no one could help them except him. They all do the same. They take their stuff, and go back to that man. Brian also had a gun. After walking a little further, they reached that man. Brian goes and tells him that we need your car. But that man says, "Okay, I will give you my car, but you will have to agree to my condition first." That man tells him, there is a hospital in the city nearby. There, a doctor has made a vaccine for this virus. You just leave me and my daughter there, then you can take my car. Hearing this, Brian says, "Have you gone mad? No medicine for this virus has been made yet." But on this, that man does not give him any answer. They all agree to that man. In the back of the car, they sit that man and his daughter, and cover that part well with plastic, so that these people do not get this virus. Then they clean the car, and sit in it and leave. At a distance, they see a car. Brian and his brother go to get the petrol of that car, so that they can help them on the way. When Brian's brother opens the door of that car, he gets scared, because a man was sitting in that car, who was looking very drowsy. He too had been infected with this virus. His body was rotting. When Brian's brother tries to get the car keys, but then that man comes to his senses. Brian's brother closed the door of that car again. Anyway, they got the petrol and reached the city. There was piece of death all around. It was not a city but a graveyard, where there were corpses all around. Now these people had reached the hospital, where that man had to go. They all go inside, but that man tells his daughter to stay in the car. Brian's friend Bobby also tells her to stay there, because she didn't want to leave the girl alone. But on the way, Brian tells Bobby, "Look, stay away from that girl and don't touch her, because this virus spreads very quickly." Then they all go inside. When they go inside the hospital, it was as if there was no one there. There was silence everywhere. But then they see a child there. They all followed him to the doctor who made the vaccine. Going to the doctor, that man says, "I want the medicine that ends this virus, because my daughter is also a victim of this virus. I want to save her." The doctor says, "That medicine has not been made yet. It is such a medicine that increases the protein in your body, and only that person can survive, who can tolerate this protein." Then that doctor starts giving the same medicine to a child. Everyone stops him, but that doctor says, "If you have any way to save these children, then tell me." Hearing this, everyone becomes quiet. Outside, when Bobby was with that child, his condition also deteriorates. Seeing this, Bobby can't stop himself. By removing all the covers, Bobby tries to help that child. Then that child vomits blood. His drops had also fallen on Bobby's face. This means that Bobby could also be infected now. That poor girl had only gone to save that child. She didn't know that she herself would become a victim of this virus. Bobby cleans himself. Meanwhile, Brian and the rest of the people had also come. But Bobby doesn't tell anyone about this. She tells that man that your daughter had fainted, but now she is absolutely fine. That man is happy to hear this. He tells these four that, me and my daughter will stay here now. You guys can go. Everyone was happy to hear this. Except for Brian's brother. He was feeling bad about all this. That they are leaving him here alone. Anyway, after going a little far, they clean the car well. Then they go to a nearby hotel and think of having fun. But these people go there and see. There was no one there either. Except for those four who were roaming there. Brian sees that Bobby is getting a little weak. He asks her, "Are you okay?" She says, "Yes, I am fine." She doesn't tell anyone anything. That the infected girl had vomited on him. After that, Brian feels that there is something in the pool. When he checks, there was a corpse in the water. Brian was scared to see it, and was about to fall into the water because of fear. Then his brother sees him, who comes and saves him. His brother tells Brian that, "Why don't we have some fun?" They go to play golf, where they also have some fun. At night, Brian's brother and his friend, when they were roaming in the hotel, a man comes to them, who was holding a light torch. He thinks he is Brian. They also call him Brian, but he doesn't answer. They were both scared. Then they start running away from there, and were scared and hid. They're outside. Brian also sees a man. He catches him. There were some other companions of that man, who had caught these four, but they were four cowards, and were asking about their companion. Brian says, "When we came here, there was no one here." "Yes, but I found a man's dead body in the pool. Maybe he is your companion." When they go and see, he was their companion, who had died because of the virus. They burn his dead body. Then they tell Brian and his brother to go, but they catch the girls, and scare them with their guns, and tell him to take off their clothes. As soon as Bobby takes off his clothes, there were red marks on his body. That means the virus had started affecting him. They all get scared. Brian tells his friends to go. No one was talking to Bobby on the way. Everyone was angry with him. Brian was the most angry, because he told that little girl to stay away from him. When they stop at a petrol station, and fill petrol from there. Meanwhile, his friend comes to Brian's brother. She says, "If we want to stay alive, then we have to stay away from Bobby." He says this to Brian, but he was not ready to listen to anything. When they go a little further, Brian stops the car, and tells Bobby to get out of the car. But Bobby didn't want him to leave him alone. She says to Brian, "I will sit in the back of the car, like I had made that girl sit. But please, don't leave me alone like this." But Brian doesn't care. They leave him there. After going a little further, they see another car coming. Brian stops his car in front of that car. His brother gets out of the car. He says, "Please help us. Our destination is very far, and we have run out of food." But both the ladies in the car think that these people are also a victim of the virus. They start taking their car to the back. See, Brian gets angry. He takes out his gun and starts shooting at both the ladies. He was so angry. He didn't know what he was doing in anger. A bullet hits the lady in that firing, and she dies. When she comes out of the other lady's car, she shoots Brian's leg, which injured him. Brian then shoots that lady and ends her. Now he was also shot, which was hurting him a lot. So his brother puts him in the car, and drives the car away. A little further on, they see a house. From there, he takes the medicine and puts it on Brian's leg. When he was doing this, he sees that he had the same mark on his leg, as it was on Bobby's body, which means Brian was also infected with the virus. Now his brother puts him in the back of the car and leaves. Then at night, they sit in the jungle with the fire lit. Brian's condition was getting worse, because whoever had this virus, he was called a kid. Brian's brother's friend tells him, "Brian is asleep. Go and get the car keys. Because we and the rest can't go with Brian. Otherwise, we will also become a victim of the virus." He goes and takes the gun and keys from Brian. Then Brian wakes up, says, "My brother, you took the wrong keys. I have the real key to the car. You will get it when you end me." But his brother didn't want to do anything like that. So Brian tells him, "I don't want to die of illness. It would be better if my brother ends me. He says, please end me. He ends his brother. And then he burned Brian's body. After that, he takes his friend and leaves. And finally, they reached the destination, where all 4 of them wanted to come. But now there were only 2 of them. After coming here, Brian's brother was remembering some old memories of him and Brian, because often he used to come with his brother on the shore of the sea. But today Brian was not with him. Bobby's mistake separated everyone from each other. Sometimes helping someone proves to be a loss for us. Like what happened to poor Bobby. She just wanted to help that kid. She didn't know that this mistake would separate her from her friends. And poor Brian, who didn't know anything, he just wanted to be with Bobby. He also got caught in the virus. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this movie and what other movies or documentaries you want me to review next. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and see you next time.